If you've ever walked past the remains of a Viking ship, or, marveled at the timber beams of a Scandinavian stave church, one question immediately comes to mind. How on earth did this wood survive centuries without modern preservatives? Today, lumber is treated with chemicals, coated with synthetic sealants, or soaked under pressure in industrial compounds. Yet nothing we make now lasts like the wood the Vikings built with. This is not legend. It's a deliberate, tested method, a combination of fire, resin, and timing that created wood so resistant to rot and pests that it still stands strong. Understanding this Viking technique isn't just academic, it's practical knowledge for anyone building or restoring wooden structures today. The Vikings understood that wood rot begins with moisture, not age. Rot is a biological process, not a simple matter of time. It requires moisture, oxygen, and microscopic organisms. The Vikings may not have called it fungal decay, but they observed it with precision. Timber in wet conditions or in contact with the ground rotted first. Heartwood, the dense inner portion of the tree, lasted longer than sapwood. Viking craftsmen used this knowledge to select the right trees and the right portions of timber for construction. If you're working with wood today, the lesson is the same. Start with dry, dense, and mature wood. Seasoned timber will always outperform freshly cut logs, no matter the coating applied later. Controlled fire was the first line of defense against rot and pests. One of the most remarkable aspects of Viking preservation was surface charring. Timber beams, ship planks, and posts were slowly exposed to flame or hot coals until the outer layer darkened and hardened. This was not accidental scorching, it was intentional. Charring drives out moisture, collapses surface pores, and changes the chemistry of the wood in ways that make it inhospitable to fungi and insects. Archaeological studies of Viking ships like the Oseberg and Gokstad vessels show that charred planks remained flexible and strong, even after centuries submerged or exposed to harsh climates. For modern applications, you can replicate this by carefully passing a propane torch or controlled flame over exterior beams or posts, darkening the surface without cracking it. Resin and tar created a waterproof barrier that modern sealants often fail to match. After charring, the Vikings applied pine tar, a thick resin derived from conifer roots and stumps. This was not cosmetic, it was strategic. Applied while the wood was still warm, the tar penetrated deeply, filling pores opened by heat and creating a flexible, water-repellent coating. Unlike modern varnishes or plastic sealants, tar moves with the wood as it expands and contracts, preventing cracks that allow moisture inside. Archaeological finds from Norway and Sweden confirm the extensive use of tar in shipbuilding, roofing, and even underground posts. If you are treating modern outdoor timber, applying warmed pine tar or a mixture of tar and raw linseed oil can replicate the Vikings' long-lasting method. Work the mixture into warm wood, allow it to soak, then wipe away the excess and let it cure naturally. Proper placement and design completed the preservation system. Viking carpenters did not rely on chemical treatment alone. They built with design in mind. Posts were elevated on stones or gravel to prevent direct contact with soil, allowing air to circulate beneath. Roofs had generous overhangs to keep water away from walls, and joints were crafted to shed rain efficiently. Lime or ash was sometimes placed under beams in contact with soil, creating an alkaline environment hostile to decay organisms. Preservation was a holistic practice. Applying the Vikings method today means combining treatment with smart design, elevate wood, allow airflow, and prevent moisture accumulation. You can still apply this Viking method today with practical steps. Whether building a garden shed, fence, deck, or restoring historical timber, the Viking system is fully applicable. Begin with well-seasoned hardwood or heartwood. Slowly char the exterior with a controlled flame, taking care not to crack the surface. Apply warmed pine tar or a tar linseed oil blend while the wood is still warm, pressing it into pores for maximum penetration. Allow the coating to cure fully. Keep posts elevated on gravel or stone. Design roofs and overhangs to shed water, and avoid soil contact whenever possible. The result is wood that actively resists rot and insects for decades, potentially centuries. We abandon this method for speed, not effectiveness. Modern construction favors rapid installation, standardization, and disposable materials. Vikings valued longevity. The difference shows clearly in surviving structures. Their ships, halls, and storage buildings outlasted entire civilizations. Ancient preservation requires patience, observation, and attention to detail, but the payoff is unmatched. For anyone interested in building sustainably, restoring historical structures, or simply preserving wood naturally, the Viking approach remains the gold standard. If you want to bring history into your hands, build smarter, and preserve wood the way it was meant to last, subscribe to Past to Live, share this video with someone who values real craftsmanship, and help keep these ancient techniques alive for the generations that follow.